time back in the day when dating was, hey, I like you, you like me, let's give this shit a go, because nowadays it's fucking exhausting. Why? Great question to literally nobody that asked me that, but let's talk about it. Nowadays we gotta play this ridiculous game that I don't even think people want to play, but we have to play. It's the game that if I'm interested, I can't act interested, because if I'm coming off as too interested, then you're no longer gonna be interested. So now for me to get you engaged, I have to be playfully condescending, purposely unattentive, and readily unavailable, because ladies, if I'm too nice, that's ugh, right? But if I'm too much of an asshole, well, nobody likes an asshole. So I gotta find that in between. And here's the thing, it's different with every woman on the planet. I already need a nap. Also, what the hell does my sign have to do with us? I just wanted to get sushi, not dissect the fact that I was born in June, which, by the way, I had zero control over. And my favorite part is when the older generation goes, when are you gonna settle down? I don't know, Bill, okay? It's not 1974 anymore, okay? You competed with literally one guy in your town named Joe. I'm competing with every Joe named Joe on her phone right here. And in addition to that, there's usually an ex that doesn't seem to go away, baggage too heavy to carry, and skeletons in closets that weren't your fault, but you gotta deal with. So, this video is sponsored by our good friends over at Tito's. It's not, but it'd be really cool, really cool if it was. You know, Tito's DMs are open, and I'm gonna finish your lovely product, okay?
Weeks ago, me and my boyfriend go on this break because, you know, I couldn't handle that he was Snapchatting and talking to so many other girls. He said it was pointless, but to me it wasn't pointless, right? He's like, no, I'm gonna change, you know, I'm gonna stop messaging all these girls. Let's get back together. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. I love you. Let's go. Give it another shot. Maybe he'll change this time. They don't. Last night, I see a girl typing in Snap. I was like, who's that? He's like, oh, I don't know. So I'm like, click on it, open it. It's like, hey, but underneath it, I see this girl, and her name, I'm not even gonna say her name, but some girl's name. And I was like, who's that? He's like, oh, some random girl that Snapchats me every single day. I never reply. I'm like, oh, she's well, if we broke up 3 weeks ago, she's been Snapchatting you every single day since, and you haven't replied once. He's like, yeah, exactly. Turns his phone off, puts it on the counter. I'm like, oh, well, can you show me? He's like, well, what do you mean, show you? I was like, well, can I just see? Go on it. Yeah, he's been replying to her. So, yeah, just lied to my face, continued to Snapchat other women. Moral of the story, don't date millennial younger men or guys that have social media or Snapchat in general is my lesson, ladies. Don't.
I don't consider myself to be a particularly ethical person, but I am fair.
Welcome, my friends, to the RP Experience. Peace and love to my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing, and turn on notifications so you know when I have a whole new video. I don't always like this setup because I don't always feel like I get enough light in my face when I'm doing the video, but yeah, because being a darkest skinned person, I'm always worried about too much shadow. But anyway, moving on. Today's video is going to be about, well, it's a story that I saw quite a few content creators cover, that supposedly 63% of millennial men and Gen Z men are opting out of dating. Wow. Okay. And they have articles saying the reasons why they think. Now, some of those reasons are the reason. I do have to think that this content, similar to what I do, is also a reason. and also probably the experiences that the regular normal guys are going through. But anyway, I have a content creator here. I think her name is, well, her channel's name is Politics or something. Anyway, she's going to give us a crash course on what she think from the female point of view. And I think she's right in some of her stuff, but some of her things she's off, obviously because she's not a man. So anyway, let's begin.
If you're a single girl out here in these streets and you're thinking, am I crazy? Or are these guys like not even wanting to date and hook up, let alone get married? Am I the problem? Are we why these men don't want to get married? I have good news and bad news. The good news is you're not crazy. The bad news is it's worse than you thought. The very minuscule amount of kingpin level good men, the ones that are actually husband material, are almost certainly already married, about to be, or here's your very grim reality check, rotting away to near extinction.
Divorce. Divorce.
There goes our last mail.
Oh my god, I hate Alex Clark. She's so dramatic.
Am I?
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Maybe I am.
Yes, sometime you females, women are the drama and the instigator. You.
Turns out, the large majority of men 18 to 30 years old are single by choice. You're not crazy after all. Don't believe me? A new Pew Research study found that 63% of men don't want to pursue any sort of relationship with women. That means serious or casual. They literally feel no motivation to leave their house. Period. You know things are bad when guys think a booty call is too much work.
Hey, speak for yourself, homie. I'm always up for the booty call. Even though I'm more of a relationship type of dude. But however, I'm not above that. You know, it's the dating part, which sometimes is the issue. Unless if it's something I want to do and I want a activities partner. Otherwise, I don't see no point wasting my time with someone that's probably not interested in me anyway. That is the answer.
The evidence points to some very specific problems. I've seen multiple conservative commentators speculate about what they think is the root of this shift, and no surprise, they're wrong. Let me tell you something about 99% of female commentators on the right who talk about dating, culture, and relationships. Hardly any of them have had significant real-world experience with dating, culture, and relationships. They think they're too highbrow for dating apps.
We're disgusting, and I hate you.
They marry the first or second guy they've made eye contact with, and their understanding on what it's actually like out here is, hate to say it, no I don't, derived from trad wife Twitter accounts secretly run by gay men trying to catfish straight ones. I know why men have lost all incentive to pursue any type of companionship with anyone with a heartbeat. And
Please tell us. Please.
think we should all be very perturbed about what this means for future generations. And no, the answer is a lot more layered than just porn is bad. Today, women are smarter, we're graduating college at higher rates than guys, and I know women don't like to admit it, but we are, by and large, making more money.
Okay, I'm sorry I'm not poor!
We spent half a century telling men that the future was female and that women allegedly didn't need to rely on men for anything.
We couldn't have credit cards, couldn't own property, couldn't vote, had no voice. Well, of course we'd partner up with a man because we needed one so that we didn't starve to death. We don't need men. So if it comes to being in a relationship, it's a matter of bringing something to the table. And if what you're bringing to the table is a toddler-like mentality where you are expecting a mommy and expecting some kind of subordinate, concubine kind of setup, no woman wants that.
Okay, I understand where this lady is coming from, but you're putting that on all men. Not all men want that particular thing. Those particular two things that she said. But however, once again, most females and even women have that big grocery list of standards that they want a man to have. Cool. But now men have a list of things that they want as well. But we can't seem to get that because we can't ask you to cook, we can't ask you to clean, we can't ask you. And I'm not saying that's something that a woman needs to do. It's just that, what do you do? And don't say having a baby, because what if the guy don't want to have a baby? Like, I already have a daughter. I'm good.
Naturally, men started to harbor this sense of hopelessness where it felt like, I'm never going to be able to meet women's increasingly high standards and expectations anyway. So the first shoe to drop was men thinking it's acceptable to get complacent. If women are doing all this work, why should I? Now, for a little while, that was fun for the men because we're climbing the ladder ourselves. We're screaming, we can do bad all by myself.
You have a problem with that?
No, I just my grandmother's 90th birthday, so I was gonna go home and it's fine, I'll cancel.
So the men are like, okay, bet. They begin to lose that motivation to achieve and be a provider for a purpose bigger than themselves.
Why are you single? I have kind of given up on trying to put in the effort.
A man's instinct to be a hero and to achieve is tied directly to how men show their love. Since the beginning of time, men have hunted and women were the gatherers and helpers. We switched this up as women and insisted that we can hunt instead, leaving men feeling confused and purposeless. In an act that drives men further into disorientation, women have chosen to blur the line between masculine and feminine energies, recognizing the different roles men and women were biologically hardwired to play does not mean that women must surrender our equality.
Here we go again about the equality thing. Look, I understand that women, y'all don't want to be looked at as being like just a helpmate or a servant or something like that. If I was in your shoes, I wouldn't want that neither. But pretty much you have all the laws, you make pretty much the same money if you do the same job that a guy does. And that means like hard jobs too, not just corporate jobs behind the desk type of stuff. Because as far as I know, in any job that you are working, it's illegal for them to pay women less than what they are paying men. That's why I get sick of that argument of like the wage gap type of thing. Like what the fuck are y'all talking about? But anyway, and I used to didn't think about it. I used to just get them like, okay, well maybe it is like a wage gap type of thing. No, I do think in certain professions that maybe it's opportunities that women don't get, but they've cleaned that up quite a bit because I see women all over the place in certain powerful positions, even like CEO. So, I mean, stop the cap. Pretty much what she was saying, yes, that is what men feel driven to do. And this is the thing that I've heard quite a bit, and I haven't said it on my channel, but the way it looks like is that women want a man that's traditional. That man that works, pays all the bills, stays in masculine frame, doesn't cry. Y'all will say you want him to show his emotions. I mean, I think that's like one of those things that maybe some of you mean, but most of you are just saying just to look good. You don't care how he feels. You care how you feel.
This means that men are motivated by the opportunity to show themselves as competitive, daring, adventurous, courageous, and achieving. But we have made them feel like these traits are no longer valued because women have chosen to demonstrate those traits ourselves. Instead, women should be secure enough to both praise men for these traits while knowing how to soften into our true feminine essence, which creates balance and peace needed for a healthy relationship. Women should embrace our traditionally feminine traits that can perfectly complement those of men. Nurturance, sensitivity, sweetness, supportiveness, gentleness, warmth, expressiveness, empathy, affection, and tenderness.
Okay, I agree with her with this. Everything that she said with what the woman brings, intangibles, of course. But look, whether we like it or not, like me as a man, I have a gender role that I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to hold down the household. I'm supposed to pay the bills. I'm supposed to go out and work. Now, the thing is, though, I should be able to put that energy and be in peace without her being like a pain in the ass. And that's what she said with intangibles can help. However, she needs to have a role that she's doing too. Now, of course, I understand when both people is working, then it's a totally different thing. And as I say, I don't mind helping out with like chore duties, but if I just work like 10 or 12 hours, you better get out of my face saying I need to wash the dishes as soon as I come in the house. This is why a lot of guys do not come right home after work. They go to the bar or they sit in their car for like a while.
I'd like to think that I'm a fair and nuanced person. I believe that I am capable of seeing both sides in pretty much anything. And another cultural thorn that women need to take some responsibility for is that we've decided as a gender that personal development is apparently a non-issue. Most of us have a God complex that is being fueled by toxic therapy culture.
Steve Harvey, bam, and self-love. And I already did one with self-love versus self-accountability. I'm not saying self-love is bad. It's just that with most people that say that, you never look at yourself. You never take responsibility for your actions. At least most people that I know that say self-love is all about queen. You can do no wrong. I'm perfect. If you can't take me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best type of shit.
Which is ironically making us worse, not better. Young women have been brainwashed into thinking that we're perfect exactly the way we are, no matter how fat, lazy, mentally ill that could be.
You'll feel it soon.
I won't. I told you, okay? Endorphins don't work on me. And anyone who's ever promised me a runner's high is full of
It has propelled the sin of self-obsession and created a barrier preventing us from considering any other possibility other than they want to hurt me, they're out to get me. Anyone that attempts to hold us to a higher standard is toxic and emotionally abusive. You're not my supervisor! The glorification of hyper-selfishness propagandized us into the belief that every last one of us is a 9 or 10.
Ask the ladies to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10.
10. I'd say I'm a 10. 10. 10. 10.
Don't you guys think it's a bit delusional to rate yourself as a 10?
Well,
So y'all are perfect.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah, bruv, come on.
Every girl is a 10. I don't.
Every woman's a 10? Is every guy a 10?
No, absolutely not.
Hold on, whoa.
The lie is so pervasive that we not only lie to ourselves, we lie to each other.
You are physically flawless.
Because of all this lying, we only entertain interest from men who are 9s or 10s. But realistically, we're likely only 6s and 7s ourselves.
Oh, okay. I did a video on why women call each other 10s, which I understand in a way, because men do the same thing when they are saying they are the best in the sport. Like they are the best boxer, they're the best basketball player, they're the greatest of all time. At least in their head, they are thinking that. And some of them will either call other players like, you are good or great too. But I do believe in most cases, men are more honest with women when saying somebody's a scrub or somebody's like not on that level or something. So I understand why women do it, because it's like a self-esteem thing and just trying not to put other women down. But can you do it in a way that you're not building up a delusion or making yourself think that you are more than what you are? Because this is how some of you are really getting played by those guys that are those 9s and 10s, really attractive guys, or those celebrity guys, you know? Anyway, I was talking to the women right there. They may or may not hear, but maybe coming from a woman, they may kind of get it or something, because most women are not honest with each other, but they are quick to backstab each other. I mean, I'm just saying.
And ladies, you know I'm right.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna rate you guys, but none of you are a 10.
Women are operating in such a high level of delusion that we'll refuse to date our own level or lower while simultaneously strong-arming men into dating down something that we're not even willing to do ourselves.
If you want a boyfriend, you have to drop your standard. You have to settle to be in a relationship. You have to settle for something less.
I don't think it's settling though, because what's going on is you have average women that don't want to date average men.
We project and accuse men of being superficial, but modern women are the most superficial beings to ever exist.
Men are so superficial.
Would you date a guy that's shorter than you?
Absolutely not.
What has happened is women have cut out 98% of the potential dating pool and convinced themselves that they're cool sharing the top 2% of men because we'd rather perpetually be in the talking stage with a 10 than having a meaningful, fulfilling, and monogamous relationship with a 7.
If you can't accurately assess, here's how attractive I actually am, you're going to keep chasing after men that they're going to have an accurate assessment of what you look like, and they're going to say, I'll hook up with this girl, I'm never going to commit to her, I'll keep her along and keep her, I'll never give her commitment.
According to Tinder data, while men swipe right on 40% of women on average, this number is only 7% for women. No wonder men feel like dating is completely pointless. For the guys left barely hanging on, it feels nothing short of fatalistic. If a guy tries to embrace his masculinity and show chivalry, it's deemed toxic at best, sexual harassment at worst.
Excuse me, ma'am. I've been in a terrible car accident. My legs are pinned under the car, and I can't reach to get my phone. Can you please get some help?
Are you serious? I have a boyfriend.
Okay, I disagree with this one, and maybe she didn't explain herself well, because sometimes when I look back on some of my videos, I know I didn't explain myself well when I was making a point, but I disagree with that. I mean, with most of the women I come across, even the women that I would think that's kind of not good women, usually I can be a gentleman and they will seem to respect it or something. Now, I do think if I was a lot less attractive, because I know I'm okay, I'm like in the middle, so I guess I still get that thing like, oh, that's a cute gesture coming from me. Maybe if I was less attractive, maybe I would have women give me a lot more flack or something. But once in the blue moon, I take and run into that. So I don't think that's prevalent throughout.
And it gets bleaker because men today are financially incentivized to not pursue marriage.
Are you single?
Actually, yes.
Why are you single?
Because it's expensive.
But he's right.
Women are 70% more likely to initiate divorce, according to the American Sociological Association. Men know if they choose the wrong woman, it will end in divorce. And the research shows that she will be the one to benefit, not him. While both spouses lose.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What do women lose in a divorce? The only thing I would think that they lose is maybe if they have a house and they are forced to move out of the house because the house is not totally paid off, and even though he's paying child support and maybe alimony, it may not still be enough to cover the expenses, especially if she is not working. So maybe she loses that in that situation. But these days, a lot more women work, and like I said before, in a divorce, a man loses the woman, he loses the kids, and he loses money. Women win all three of those things. So what do y'all lose exactly? A woman can comment down below and tell me what y'all lose. And don't say what I just said about if y'all have a house and then you're forced to move out of it because you can't keep up with the payments. I'm talking about something else that you happen to lose because you don't want the guy anymore. So obviously you're not losing him, and you take the kids, and plus you get money from him. So
Men typically suffer a larger hit because of child support and alimony. Men are looking at this and weighing the risks, and the unfortunate reality for women is that instead of seeing these statistics and thinking, okay, true love in a family is a pro that outweighs the con, they opt out of the equation entirely. Men are more willing to put up with loneliness because in their mind, they'll still get to keep their money and dignity. Plus, thanks to the pandemic, they have learned that they can also get all of their sexual and self-esteem needs met without leaving their couch.
OnlyFans. And yes, you could say prom too, but OnlyFans is the killer.
Confidence is boosted through comments, likes, and retweets on social media. Sexual needs are met through pornography. Why would men feel motivated to go to bars, for example, to spend their money on drinks for women who may or may not even be interested?
There's a lot of bars in New York City. You go up to someone in a bar, they're like, why are you talking to me?
You can cut to the chase with pornography, and many men took advantage of the opportunity in lockdown. Fast forward 2 years later, the habit has been formed, and the men are drastically different. The false identity of women and the increasing apathy of men, to say the least, is literally adding up to human extinction at this point. Gen Z and young millennials are just not getting married. We are living through a serious crisis. The eligible bachelors are buying pretend land in the metaverse and subscribing to the OnlyFans of the girl next door. They aren't building a house or a life beyond the digital landscape because we've done a horrible job as women making commitment and marriage look like a worthwhile risk. Unfortunately, I don't have a feel-good solution for you. I personally think Gen Z and younger millennial men may be a lost cause, but something we can do is instill better self-worth in the men of Gen Alpha. That's the generation that comes after Gen Z. Because if not, this will be the end. We are already at 63% of men under 30 who have just left the dating market. If we don't change course now, that statistic will reach 100% in no time. If you think I'm off base at all, I am open to criticism.
Okay, she made a lot of great points in that video. She's missing on some things, but I think probably because she's a woman, not a man. As far as like Generation Alpha, the thing is though, until those divorce laws change, the men that are like millennials, pretty much this start with Generation X. Okay, then millennials, Generation Z, we are passing that information down with men on how unfair it is, especially in divorce. And I'm going to do a video again because I already did some videos about marriage, but however, I have a new one that just doesn't look good, you know. So anyway, that's all, folks. See you later.
You know why good men have trouble dating and ever wanting to get married again after going through a bad divorce? It's because we busted our ass for years and years and years and years and years to provide and give the other person the life that you felt that they deserved, which is great. I mean, if you love someone, give it all to them. But when the other person leaves, and I'm just going to put it that way because I'm not going to say anything disparaging about her. Life is life. But the bad thing is when you build all of this for them just to lose it all and to make things even worse, is you can't sell your house at the moment because you decorated it the way that they wanted it, which is good. You were with them. And you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to fix shit in your fucking house that you're losing, that you worked hard for. This, ladies, is why it is very hard to ever get through to a good man that's been fucked over. Sorry, it's the stone cold truth. We have a big heart, it gets broken, we get fucked over and lose everything that we have. It's going to be hard to get through to that man.
I still wanna run to you. Am I breaking through? Do you feel me too? Pando made it. I still wanna run to you.